Hi everybody, in this video I am going to be stepping you through edfd459. So really this is your welcome to edfd459, the learning space video, and it's an opportunity for me to begin to familiarize you with the structure of the unit and also a couple of administrative tasks that I'd like you to complete in readiness for the start of the semester so that we are fully prepared to hit the ground running on the 28th of July. So by the very fact that you're actually watching this video, you would have obviously accessed Leo, and when you went into Leo for the first time and went into edfd459, you would see this one module on the screen. So you'd see the welcome, please begin module. This does not mean that there's a dearth of resources and content for the unit. It just means that as you begin to complete some of the tasks, more and more of the content will become available to you. So what I'd like you to do, if you haven't done so already, is actually click on the welcome, please begin link. And this will take you into that particular module with a screenshot of the video that you're now watching. Those of you who are very alert and eagle-eyed will notice that this video is actually called edfd460 welcome. That's because I need to actually record the edfd459 welcome to put in there, and that's what I'm doing now. So obviously it's a bit like chicken and the egg. I need to record the video before I can put it in. But this is purely for sort of visual purposes, so you can see what it's going to look like. But you would have gone into the welcome module. You would have seen step 1, which is this particular video, and you would have seen step 2, sign up to your cohort group. Now, the next step in the process is actually to complete that step number 2. And just before I do this with you, I'm just going to explain to you why I'm doing this. There are students from 4 different cohorts in this unit, and a majority of you are going through the 12-week semester schedule, but quite a few of you are doing a 9-week semester schedule because you are in your final semester of your degree. And you actually have an entirely different schedule for the semester. So the 12-weekers, they actually finish at the end of October, whereas the 9-weekers finish at the end of November. And so you need to have access to content at different times. And so by signing into your cohort group, that means that I can split you out, and it means that when you actually log into the unit, that you won't be confused by different timelines and requirements and things like that. So this is actually a really important component. So when you're ready, what I'd like you to do is click onto the step 2 sign up to your cohort group link. And when you log into this, you'll actually see that there are a number of different sign up groups that you can join. Now you only actually need to join one. So I'm going to go through them now to give you some information on that, just so that it clarifies it in your mind. The first one is for second year students in the undergraduate course, and this is for Bachelor of Education Primary or Bachelor of Education Early Childhood and Primary. The next group is for third year students in the undergrad course, third year students in Bachelor of Ed Primary or the Bachelor of Education Early Childhood Primary. The third group is for fourth year upgraders. Now the fourth year upgraders are students who are already teachers, so you've already got an existing degree and you're doing a further year of extra study. Please note that fourth year upgraders are not final year fourth year students in the undergrad course. Then you'll see that there are 5 groups here, and these do apply to those of you who are in your final semester of your undergraduate course, be it Bachelor of Education Primary or Bachelor of Education Early Childhood and Primary. Now, I've split it out so that there's a Ballarat version, a Brisbane version, a Canberra version, a Melbourne version, and a Sydney version. The reason for this is not only do we have students working on a 12-week semester and a 9-week semester, with the final semester students being the 9-week semester ones, but even within the different campuses we have different time frames than that. So I actually need to be able to dig a little bit deeper into that too and offer you content at different times. So it's important that if you're a final semester student in your undergrad course, that you identify which campus you usually work from and then go in and select that particular sign-up group. Remember that you only need one particular group. So I'm going to assume that I'm a third year Bachelor of Ed or Bachelor of Education Early Childhood and Primary student, and I'm going to select that group. And so what I do is I literally just click on join this group. And that will automatically put me into the group, and you'll notice here that there's now one person in that particular group. If I think I've made a mistake, I can actually click leave this group, and it will take me out of that group. Okay, so if you do make a little mistake at the beginning, it's really not a problem. But I'm going to put myself back into that group, and then I'm going to navigate back to the unit homepage. Now, you can either do that on the left-hand side down here, or you can do it up at what's called the bread line, which is up at the top here. That's the way that I automatically do it, so that's where I'll be going in. So I'm going to click on edfd459 2014 Semester 2 Online, and this will take me back to the home page. And when you go back to the home page, excuse me, you will notice that some more content has magically appeared. So that was based on you signing into your cohort group. If you don't sign into a cohort group, you'll just remain with the Welcome Please Begin module, which, as interesting as I'm sure it is, probably not going to entertain you for 12 weeks. So what I'd like to do now is just very quickly step you through the content that is there and show you what is available. So the first thing that most of you are probably going to go to is the unit information module. So once you open that up, you'll see that you now have access to the unit outline and also to a biography about myself. I won't go into that now, you can do that at your own leisure, but the unit outline is important. So you'll notice I've actually called this an E-unit outline, and the reason for that is edfd459 to all intents and purposes is a paperless unit. Okay, so I don't want you printing out reams and reams of paper unless you really have to. Let's challenge ourselves and try and keep it all online if we can. So I put the E in front of it just to signify that it's actually an online version. So if you were to click on that, it'll open up a new window, and lo and behold, there is the E-unit outline. And it looks exactly the same as the paper version of it. It's just this one has actually been given hyperlinks down the left-hand side to take you to each individual section. So if you decided that you want to go and have a look at the content that's going to be addressed in this particular unit, you click on content on the left-hand side, and it takes you to the content. You can then see under each section it says back to top of page. If you click on that, it'll take you back to the top rather than you having to scroll. You can then have a look at the assignments as well. So under this section here is a really brief overview of it. For the more in-depth overview, you'll want to go down to your appendices and click onto your particular assignment. So if I click onto number 2, it actually takes you through a far more comprehensive version of the assignment. Again, scroll to the bottom of that particular section and click on back to top of page, and it'll take you up to the top. All the links within here are hyperlinks, so you can actually use this to navigate around the whole unit outline, and it also takes you back into the Leo unit as well. The next module that we've got is the communication module. This is going to be vitally important throughout the whole semester. There are 2 forums in there. There is the questions and queries for Adam, and there are important messages from Adam, and they're fairly self-explanatory. So if you have a question and query generally about the unit, so administrative, or you can't access something, or whatever it may be, click on that, on the questions and queries for Adam, and add a new discussion topic if it's a new topic, put in a title, and then put in your content and post a forum. You can also use that as well to actually reply to existing discussion topics as well. The second forum is important messages from Adam, and that's the one that I'm going to use when I need you to take note of something fairly urgently or very quickly. Please note the difference between those ones. Okay, so if you've got a question or query for me, put it into the question and queries for Adam rather than to important messages from Adam. Okay, because I may not pick it up. They will be used extensively throughout the semester, so please get used to looking at those every single time you log into Leo. There will be multiple additional discussions throughout the semester used for content-specific discussions, but those are the two where you go to if you have questions or queries or you need to take note of something that I've told you. Then we've got the week 1 module, and the week 1 module is very much administrative based, getting you up and ready for the unit, but its structure is the way that every single module will appear throughout the course of this particular unit. So you'll have at the top the week that we're in, we'll have a title. This one is not a very inspired title, but each week the module will have a particular title. We've then got this information here which relates to the Gilly Salmon 5-stage model of online learning that we're going to be using. I'll explain this in greater detail in week 1, but we base, as well as the content of the learning space, we also use the work of an academic called Gilly Salmon, who provides a framework that allows us to develop as online learners, and this is really important. So there are two things going on in the unit. The main one is learning about learning spaces, obviously, but the other one is actually using this framework to scaffold our way through how to become an online learner. So she starts off with a very simple idea of actually accessing the unit, which you've already done, and then as we work through the semester, you get to the stage where you're actually generating your own knowledge and your own understandings, and you're really adept online learners. So the reason why we use that is because not all of us have learnt online before, and for those of you that have been with me before can attest to the fact that it is a bit nerve-wracking at the very beginning. Okay. Then we have, and basically this area here will tell us what stage we're at for that particular week and some of the weekly achievements that we want to be meeting. We then got an introduction which will tell you about what we're up to during that week. And again, as I said, every single every single week will have this format. Then we've got our readings. All of our readings will be available online. You don't need to go and find them. Then we'll have resources that are applicable to that particular week. Discussion forums that are applicable to that particular week. Some forums will be optional. Some forums will be required. The open general discussion forum will be there every week, and that is to be used by you if you've got other conversations to have with your peers or whatever it may be. Every other week we'll have an Adobe Connect session or an ACS, and this is a virtual classroom that is online where we can come together, and I will usually have some information about the coming weeks, a small review about the previous weeks. You're able to communicate in many different ways, either through text chat. You can talk as well. Students find this a really great way in an online unit of actually coming together and feeling part of the classroom environment that one could argue is sometimes missing in the online environment. Our first Adobe Connect session is on the first Tuesday of the semester, so Tuesday the 29th of July at 6 p.m. What I'd like you to do in readiness for this is to actually read Core Reading 1B, which is about how to set yourself up for Adobe Connect. And then at 6 p.m. on Tuesday the 29th, you can click on this link and enter the room. If you're unable to make that time, it is put up as a recording as well. So you can actually either access it synchronously, which is at 6 o'clock, or you can access it asynchronously, excuse me, at a later time. As I said, ACS will be happening every other week. Then we have our e-tivity, and the e-tivities form part of assessment number 1. So there are 12 e-tivities throughout the course of the semester, and there's one every week, and they build you up through the 5 different stages of the Salmon 5-stage model, and they also prepare you for each assignment task. So they basically scaffold you through the unit. And this particular one will come available after the first Adobe Connect session, but generally they're going to be available from 8 o'clock on the Monday of each week, and they close at 11:55 p.m. on the Sunday of each week. So you have a week to complete the e-tivities. And all the e-tivities together make up 25% of the unit. The other module that will appear once you have signed into your cohort group is the edfd459 assignments module. At the moment, it links directly to the e-unit outline, so there isn't a huge amount of information in there that isn't already available. The only difference being that there is a discussion forum for each assignment. But as we progress through the unit, it'll become clearer why those forums are there. And they're basically there just to help you and give you somewhere to discuss the assignments. The way the unit looks at the moment, there's obviously 1 week appearing in terms of the content. At 8 o'clock every Monday morning, another week will appear. Okay, so by the time we get to the end of the unit, you'll actually have 12 more modules in there, all with the content in. So that is the structure of the unit as it appears. So once you've signed into your particular cohort group, you'll see the unit information, you'll still see the welcome video, the communication, the week 1 module, and the edfd459 assignments module, which is also where you'll be submitting your assignments as well, assignment number 2 and assignment number 3. So what I'd like you to do in the interim is read the 2 readings in the week 1 module. So that's going to be the Gilly Salmon model, remembering this is the underlying framework as to how we learn to become online learners. So it's sort of benchmarks of how you can see how you're doing, and also the Adobe Connect reading as well, to set yourself up for our first Adobe Connect session on Tuesday the 29th of July. The other resources in there, such as the discussion forums and this video, managing your email notifications, don't worry about those until the eTivity becomes available. So in the first Adobe Connect session, I'll be describing the eTivities and how they work. As soon as that Adobe Connect session is over, the first eTivity will be made available, and the discussion forums and the video 1A are part of that. So don't worry about them until 8 p.m. on Tuesday the 29th of July, when it'll become far more obvious what you're expected to do with those. So welcome to the unit. It's great to have you on board. Looking forward to between 9 and 12 weeks of activity, depending on which cohort you're in. Feel free to post messages into the communication module. Any question is a good question, and don't feel under pressure in any way when you are posting. This whole unit is based on communication and relationship building. So go ahead and post a message as and when you need to. It will be slow at the beginning as people begin to find their feet, but after the first Adobe Connect session, I think you'll feel a lot more comfortable. And we have a significant number of students in this unit who have already studied with me online and in other units as well with other lecturers. But those that have studied with me in edfd460 will be there to offer their guidance and their assistance as experienced online learners. So I look forward to working with you over the next few weeks, and looking forward to seeing edfd459 begin to pick up a little bit and get some really good learning and knowledge generation happening.